Kindness Beats Gold. Chapter 1. The Call That Sparked His Revenge. One phone call blew the truth wide open. Jay's beat-to-heck android rattled on the nightstand at 2:47 a.m., buzzing like a wasp with an attitude. He slapped the screen, half asleep, expecting another drunk ride request. Instead, Miss Mabel's shaky voice slipped through the speaker. "Baby, they're taking my house. Notice says I gotta be out in 30 days. Thunder cracked over Charlotte, North Carolina like heaven itself slammed a car door. Jay shot upright, heart pounding harder than his poor sedan's engine on a hill. "Who signed the notice?" he asked, already yanking on jeans that smelled like drive-through fries. "Reed Urban Ventures," she whispered. "Same Reed you drove last night, right?" Jay's breath caught. He remembered the slick dude in the custom suit, Silas Reed, tossing pennies on his floorboard like confetti. "Miss M, don't you worry, I got this," he lied, because courage sounded better than panic. Outside, rain pelted the asphalt in silver sheets. Streetlights flickered, making the whole block look like a busted mixtape. Bright, dark, bright again. Jay slid behind the wheel of his dented Toyota, offered the dashboard a pep talk. "Come on, baby, don't act brand new," and fishtailed toward uptown. 2 blocks in, his kid sister Kia, 8 years old, night owl champion, popped up from the back seat like a whack-a-mole. "You promised pancakes tomorrow, big bro." "Kia, why you in my ride?" Couldn't sleep, house felt sad. She hugged her teddy so tight its stuffing wheezed. Jay sighed. Charlotte's finest backseat therapist just gave his conscience a wedgie. He dropped Kia with their neighbor, Ms. Dolores, then gunned it to Reed Tower, a 28-story monument to ego. The lobby reeked of eucalyptus diffuser and money that never met a laundromat. Jay marched up to the marble desk, jeans dripping, sneakers squeaking. Security dude, big as Sunday, blocked him with a palm. "Deliveries use the service entrance." Jay flashed every penny Reed had thrown at him the night before, stacked shiny in his fist. "Got urgent business with Mr. Reed." The guard raised a brow. "You're kidding." "Do I look like I got jokes at 3 in the morning?" Jay deadpanned. A chuckle slipped from nearby interns doom-scrolling TikTok, and weirdly that laugh parted the velvet rope. Elevator dinged, doors opened like judgment. On the ride up, Jay rehearsed lines. "Spare Miss Mabel's house, you rich clown," morphed into, "Let's strike a deal, sir." By the 28th floor, sweat glued his t-shirt to his spine. He stepped into a hallway so quiet it felt illegal, lights low, rain tapping the windows like nosy cousins. Reed's corner office door was cracked, blue glow spilling out. Jay pushed it wider. There sat Silas Reed, shirt untucked, hair a mess, rich folks' version of rough night. He stared at a foreclosure spreadsheet, sipping cold brew from a mug that said hustle or die. Silas didn't look up when he muttered, "Whoever you are, come back at 9. "Nah," Jay said, voice steady. "We settle this now. You're about to evict the woman who raised you and the man who just saved your watch from a puddle yesterday." Silas finally met his eyes. Recognition flickered, then something colder. "Janitor turned chauffeur thinks he knows me." "Brother," Jay replied, flashing the 1990 penny between thumb and forefinger. "I know exactly who you are. Question is, do you?" Lightning lit the skyline behind them, framing 2 former foster kids on opposite sides of a mahogany desk, one weighing pennies, the other weighing people. And somewhere south of downtown, Miss Mabel's porch light flickered, waiting to see which boy would show up a man. Chapter 2. Eviction in a gift-wrap bow. Sun cracked the clouds like a fresh egg over Charlotte, but Jay's mood stayed scrambled. He pulled up to Miss Mabel's weather-beaten house just as a shiny black SUV rolled away, leaving tire tracks and trouble. A pink eviction notice flapped on the porch rail, bright as bubble gum and twice as tacky. Miss Mabel stood there watering her azaleas, trying to look unbothered, yet the hose trembled in her hand like a rattlesnake tail. Jay hustled up the steps, rain-soaked sneakers squelching. "Morning, Miss M," he said, forcing cheer into his voice the way folks force change into a vending machine. "Guess I'm early for gospel brunch?" She chuckled, thin and tired. "Baby church ain't got a hymn for this kind of storm." She gestured toward the notice. "Silas signed it himself. Says the city needs mixed-use development. Fancy talk for pushing folks like me off the chessboard." Jay's jaw locked. He pictured Silas's signature. Slick loops, no soul. Mixed use, huh? Sounds more like mixed-up priorities. Before Miss Mabel could answer, an older neighbor named Mr. Leon shuffled over, ball cap low, coffee steam curling from his mug. "Heard Reed Ventures already contracted bulldozers," Leon said. "Place'll be a parking deck before fall." He tipped his hat and walked off, leaving dread thicker than North Carolina humidity. Inside the house, framed photos line danced across the hallway. Foster kids smiling with gap teeth and second-hand sweaters. Jay paused at one of himself and Silas, 8 years old, holding a shared birthday cupcake because money was too short for two. Miss Mabel wiped dust from the glass. "Back then, y'all were brothers," she sighed. "Now you're day and night." Jay squeezed her hand. "I'm gonna flip night into sunrise, you'll see." He spent the afternoon driving rideshare, but every ping sounded like Silas's mocking laugh. Passengers kept asking, "Why the storm face, man?" He faked jokes. "Just allergic to billionaires, that's all." Between rides, he hit City Hall for permit records. Denied. He tried a lawyer, too pricey. Finally, he visited Reverend Tate for advice. The Reverend scratched his beard. "Son, the lion may guard the water hole, but the jackal still drinks. Just waits till the lion naps." Jay nodded, tasting folktale truth in those words. By sunset, he pulled up to Kia's elementary school. She hopped in, backpack bouncing. "Big bro, guess what? We're doing a penny drive for field trips. I'm bringing the jar you keep on your dresser." Jay froze. That jar held every coin Silas had tossed the night before and every stray cent Jay had gathered since high school. He almost said no, but Kia's grin stretched wider than the city skyline. He sighed. "Sure, kid. Pennies gotta travel to find their purpose." On the ride home, streetlights flickered on, gold against the dusky violet sky. Jay's phone buzzed. An anonymous text. Picture of Miss Mabel's house with red spray paint scrawled across the siding. "Last warning." His pulse kicked like a bass drum. Kia peeked over. "Why'd they paint Grandma Mabel's place?" Jay forced a smile he didn't feel. "Some folks think graffiti is art. We'll clean it up tomorrow." That night, Jay spread city maps across his kitchen table, tracing routes like battle plans. He marked every Reed Ventures property surrounding Miss Mabel's block, a red X each time his marker squeaked. Thought roared in his head. If Silas plays Monopoly, I'll play Miracle. In the stillness came another memory, Miss Mabel's bedtime story about the sparrow and the python. Little wings beat big coils when they fly at dawn, she always said. Jay glanced at the clock, 11:59 p.m. Dawn was a rumor, but he felt his wings twitch. He grabbed the 1990 penny, held it to the window where moonlight kissed its worn face and whispered like a promise, "Let's buy back more than a house." Because in the balance between rich and poor, he knew a single copper coin, spent right, could tip the whole scale. And somewhere in a penthouse across town, Silas Reed sipped $12 mineral water, unaware that pennies and persistence had just declared war on his empire. Chapter 3. A deal, written in dust morning light, bounced off Reed Tower's glass like gossip off church steps. But Jay's nerves didn't shine half as bright. He marched through the revolving door, still smelling of last night's rain and duct-tape determination. The lobby looked like somebody poured $1 million into a snow globe. White marble floors, fountain burbling like polite laughter, fake palm trees trying hard to be tropical. Jay cut straight to the security desk. The same guard from the graveyard shift loomed, arms folded like a drawbridge. "Back again, Uber King," the guard rumbled. "Charlotte's most wanted," Jay shot back. He fished Silas's tossed pennies from his pocket, stacked them on the counter, and grinned. "My all-access pass, old school edition." The guard eyed the copper tower, sighed, and waved him through. "Go break some hearts, Robin Hood." Elevator ride felt 9 miles long. Muzak leaked from speakers, jazz so watered down even the sax sounded bored. Jay rehearsed, "Ask nice, stay calm, don't throw hands." Doors dinged open to the 28th floor where silence held its breath. Silas's corner office door stood ajar, blue computer glow washing over a desk as wide as a Cadillac hood. Inside, Silas Reed hunched over spreadsheets, hair tousled, tie crooked, millionaire hangover chic. Jay cleared his throat. Silas didn't flinch. "Tough night?" Jay asked. "Numbers don't sleep," Silas muttered. "Speak your piece." Jay stepped forward, dripping water onto pristine hardwood. "Spare Miss Mabel's house. In exchange, I'll run free community rides for your new app launch. 20 cars, 20 days, 0 hype cost. You get good press, she keeps her porch swing. Everybody eats." Jay placed the 1990 penny dead center on the glossy desk. "Then here's my opening bid. 1 cent and a promise. You know Miss Mabel raised lions, not lapdogs. Just because you traded soul for stock options doesn't mean the pride forgot you." Silas's jaw twitched. Memories flickered. Birthday cupcakes, shared bunk beds, Miss Mabel's bedtime tale of the sparrow and the python. He brushed imaginary dust from the desk, but his palm smeared a faint film of construction grit. Jay leaned in. "Funny thing about dust," he said. "Write the wrong words in it, and the wind reads them to the whole city." Silas sighed like a tire losing air. "Facts don't care about folk wisdom. Deal's off." He yanked a sleek tablet, tapped a signature with stylus flair, and spun the screen toward Jay. "Demolition order, effective 48 hours. Jay's pulse hammered, but he smirked. "You sign documents real pretty, bro. Shame you forgot how to sign people's hearts." Silas stood 6'2" of polished granite. "Security will escort you out." Jay scooped the penny, slipped it back into his pocket like a seed waiting on rain. "Escort yourself, big money. You're the one walking away from family." Out in the hallway, Jay nearly collided with Zara Miles, Silas's marketing director. Cocoa skin, sharp bob, eyes that said, "I saw everything." She whispered, "You didn't hear it from me, but Reed's launching the app at tomorrow night's gala. Cameras everywhere." Her smile tilted conspiratorial. "A good place for a jackal to drink while the lion naps, right?" Jay blinked, surprised she knew the proverb. "You got wings or fangs, Ms. Miles?" "Depends who's hunting," she teased, then disappeared into a conference room, leaving perfume notes of jasmine and potential. Elevator doors shut, muffling Jay's chuckle. Heartache and opportunity tangled in his chest like earbuds in a pocket. Outside, wind kicked up downtown dust, swirling it across the pavement. He tasted grit on his tongue, thought of Miss Mabel's azaleas choking under bulldozer fumes, and vowed, "If the lion won't share the water hole, I'll flood the whole savannah." Back at his sedan, Kia's penny jar clinked on the seat where she'd forgotten it. Jay shook the glass, hundreds of tiny suns. A plan sparked: pennies, people, publicity. He gunned the engine, tires spitting dust that settled on Reed Tower's shining face. And high above, Silas watched from the window, unaware a single copper seed now rolled toward his empire, gathering momentum like a story nobody could stop once the wind decided to speak. Chapter 4. The night the city went dark. Thunderheads piled over Charlotte like angry buffalo just as Reed Ventures Gala revved up. Uptown's skyline blinked neon purple, party lights spilling from the crystal ballroom onto valet lines of Teslas and Egos. Jay rolled up last, driving his beater Toyota jammed with Kia's penny jars. He wore a borrowed blazer 2 sizes too tight and nerves even tighter. But the plan was set. Feed the city, starve the lion. Inside, chandeliers glittered like iced cornrows. Reporters prowled for sound bites. Venture capital sharks circled champagne flutes. Jay spotted Zara Miles near the step and repeat, dressed in emerald silk that made the room look underdressed. She intercepted him with a smile that meant trouble or salvation, maybe both. "Didn't peg you for black tie," she teased. "Trust me, the tie's renting me," he shot back, then nodded toward the stage where Silas rehearsed his keynote. Ready to watch a power outage get more applause than his speech? Her eyebrow arched. "Jackal moves," she whispered. "Just don't bite yourself." Jay gave a half bow and slipped backstage. There he found Gator. Real name Greg, 9-fingered electrician who owed Jay a favor, and handed him a thumb drive. At the 10-minute mark, "Pull the lights but keep emergency lines for hospitals. No one gets hurt, just humbled." Gator grinned, showing one too many gold teeth, and disappeared into the breaker maze. Back in the ballroom, Silas began talking about innovation lifting communities. Miss Mabel's eviction order sat in Jay's pocket, paper edges digging his ribs like thorns. He scanned the crowd. Investors nodding on cue, socialites live streaming for clout, Kia wandering wide-eyed beside Ms. Dolores. He'd snuck them in as community guests. Their presence reminded him what mattered more than revenge. 10 minutes in, Gator's timer hit 0. The room shivered, lights popping off row by row until the chandeliers died like snuffed candles. Gasps fluttered. Someone dropped a glass. Silas froze mid-sentence. Spotlight gone, microphone useless. But Jay's sedan stereo, wired to a portable inverter, roared to life outside, blasting Miss Mabel's favorite gospel track. Street lamps along Fifth flickered, then cut out too, painting the city in midnight. At that exact beat, Jay flung open the ballroom doors. Headlights from his Toyota sliced the darkness, revealing Kia on the hood like a pint-sized MC, jar of pennies raised high. Her voice, tiny but fierce, rang over stunned silence. "Spare some change for folks losing homes tonight." Guests shifted, confused. Reporters smelled a bigger story than any app launch and swung cameras to her. Phones lit like fireflies. In the chaos, Zara slipped Jay a handheld mic hooked to his car's PA. He cleared his throat. "Charlotte runs on power, but community runs on heart," he said, words shaking but steady. My sister's jar holds every penny thrown away by people who forgot how to care. We're using them to buy back a foster home that raised city leaders, including Mr. Reed right there. Spotlights from TV crews reignited, landing on Silas's stunned face. Murmurs swelled, pity, curiosity, maybe shame. Rain thundered against glass, lightning flashed, revealing the word family graffitied across the gala backdrop in glow paint Jay had sprayed earlier during set design. Silas stepped forward, jaw tight. Turn the power back on, he barked. Jay met his glare. Lights can wait, brother. Some debts can't. In the hush that followed, an investor tossed a quarter into Kia's jar. Another dropped a diamond cufflink. Laughter cracked the tension, then applause broke like summer rain. The jar jingled richer by the second. Gator poked his head from a service door, thumbs up gleaming. And in that flickering half-dark, Jay felt something shift, like a python loosening its coil because a sparrow wouldn't quit singing. He didn't know if victory was close, but he knew the lion finally heard the jackal's growl. Chapter 5. Pocketful of Forgiveness. Dawn cracked over Charlotte like a slow-motion drum roll, clouds rosy from the storm's hangover. Miss Mabel sat on her porch in a patchwork robe, rocking and humming, when a champagne-colored SUV crept up her gravel drive. Silas stepped out with hair still gel-slick from last night, but his shoulders slumped like a kid caught skipping church. He clutched the penny jar, now brimful of silver and gold and one lonely diamond cufflink. Jay leaned against the porch rail, arms folded. Kia peeked from behind him, teddy bear under one armpit and a reporter's microphone, souvenir from the gala under the other. Silas cleared his throat, words sticking like peanut butter. I came to return what's yours, he said, setting the jar at Miss Mabel's feet, and ask what's still mine. A second chance. Miss Mabel's eyes softened, but her voice stayed flint. Baby, pennies shine brighter after fire, but only if the hand that spends 'em learns heat hurts. She motioned for Jay to speak his piece. Jay exhaled, breath fogging the chilly air. You almost bulldozed the only safe roof half this block ever knew, man. Why should we trust your sudden halo? Silas pulled a folded deed from his jacket. Because the house is yours, Miss Mabel. Paid in full, taxes covered forever. He handed another envelope to Jay. And a grant to turn your rideshare hustle into a neighborhood transit co-op. I'll sit on the board, but every vote needs your signature first. He smirked, weak but earnest. Figured it was time the lion shared water before the jackal flooded the place. Jay stared, caught between rage and relief. Kia broke the tie, skipping forward to pluck a single penny from the jar, the 1990 coin, and pressed it into Silas's palm. Grandma Mabel says forgiveness fits in small pockets, she whispered. Silas's eyes glassed over. That old copper felt heavier than any gold watch. He knelt to Kia's height. I'll spend it right this time. Just then Zara arrived, winded from jogging up the street, camera crew in tow. Hope I'm not late to the epilogue, she quipped, brushing rain-damp curls from her cheeks. Jay's heart did a goofy two-step, dangerous for a man wearing yesterday's wrinkled blazer. The cameraman panned across the trio, the mogul, the driver, the matriarch. Birds argued in the magnolia tree above like background singers on cue. Zara asked, Silas, any comment for Charlotte after last night's blackout surprise? He squared up to the lens. Power went out so I could see what I'd been blind to, my own roots. From today on, Reed Ventures invests in people before property. And if I drift, I expect this family to drag me back. Miss Mabel cackled, rocking harder. Honey, dragging's free, but praying costs time. You'll get both. Jay offered his hand. Silas shook it, grip firm, past hurts crackling like dry twigs between their palms. Overhead, sun burst through clouds, spotlighting the porch in honey light. In that glow, the penny glinted, no longer tossed change, but covenant. Zara lowered her mic and nudged Jay. Looks like your jackal story just earned a sequel. Coffee later? Strictly interview, of course? Her grin said maybe not strictly. Jay's answer stumbled out like a happy t-shirt slogan. Deal, long as pancakes are involved. Miss Mabel rose, arms wide. Y'all quit flapping your gums and help me fix breakfast. Even miracles need grits. The camera crew kept rolling as everyone filed inside, the porch rocking chair left swaying, creaking out the tale's final chorus. When pennies meet purpose and pride meets grace, the poorest heart can buy the richest tomorrow.